Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and I've been trying to reach you about your rotisserie chicken's extended warranty. But for the last week I've been carrying the Rosecraft Blades Pocket Monster. Now, let's take a look at this thing first because I will lose sleep if I don't do this. But first things first, and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. It is reversible. We have got some bright green G10 here. We have got thumb studs and we have got a front flipper. So let's flick the front. And we got 2.75 inches of RPM 9 steel. And this was designed by Swags. And one of the cool things about Rosecraft is they got a small crew of designers, and they tell you exactly who designed it on the website. Which this is $30 on the website, and I will link to this in the description so that you can take a look at it for yourself. But let's dive into it. So the first video I did, the first sniff of this thing, getting a good whiff of the essence of the Pocket Monster. You know, I had mentioned that I didn't really see any problems coming up out of this thing at all. And not gonna lie, I didn't have any problems out of this. You know, the size and the shape worked very, very well for carry in the pocket. I mean, very well. You know, I didn't have to fight to get my keys out from around it. I didn't have to really deal with a whole lot of problems. It didn't take up a ton of real estate. It just worked. And the comfort in the hand was fantastic. And one thing that's worth noting is the fidget factor on this is pretty high. Like, it is great to kind of sit there and mess with this, even though I'm messing this up because I'm under the camera and I'm not holding it the way I would hold it sitting there minding my own business. But, you know, you can sit there and just do this with it all day long if you wanted to. It is very satisfying to fidget with it. And of course, I can't sit there and fidget with it the way I want to because the wife will beat me to death with a sock full of 9-volt batteries if I do that. She hates that noise. And I think that's kind of one of those things where someone flipping a knife open and closed, it's like, it's only okay when I do it. You know, it'll drive you nuts if someone else is doing it. I'm not one of those guys, but a lot of people are like that. So, you know, like this thing, it did fantastic. It did great. You know, and the cool thing, like the thing that I was thinking about on the way home from work on my long sojourn to my house is the fidget factor is quite high despite not having any kind of strange gimmick or anything like that. Like, it's just the size, the shape, the weight, you know, the action on that front flipper. Like, it all adds up to be just something that you can really sit there and fidget with. Like, it is a great distraction. I really can't find any fault with that. And, you know, like, it's well designed. It did so good this week. And I will say, now I did one take on this and I didn't quite like what I had, but something that I had showed was the sheer quantity of black grunge that that my keys left on this thing. Like, it is nuts. Like, and I haven't really done G10 this brightly colored before with this, so I was kind of in for a bit of a surprise at just the sheer quantity of it. And you might be able to still see some up here. Like, it's still embedded in this stuff, and it's just from keys. You know, and steel is harder than G10. It shouldn't be depositing stuff like that, but it does, and it drives me up the wall. So I had showed an easy way to clean this off, and we'll get the Forbidden Moonshine. And if you're not familiar with this, please check out the live streams. They are a ton of fun. We're doing the live stream on this one actually tomorrow, Friday, October 4th. We are doing the live stream on this and seeing just how much cardboard it can handle slaying, because that's the last step of this review. I've got a good feeling about it, but we'll see. I've had good feelings about stuff that ain't work out so good, and I've had, you know, mixed feelings about stuff that did great. So, this is kind of cool. Acetone is your friend. Turns out acetone doesn't really damage G10. It faded the color on this a little bit, but that might be the paper towel embedded in there. But you can kind of see, no time flat, it's pretty much gone. You know, acetone is great for cleaning knives. It's great for cleaning stuff off of knives. It's great for cleaning stuff out of G10. Like, it just works. It just works so good. And, like, it cleaned up so much gunk. And if you've got if you cut a bunch of boxes that have tape on them or stickers on them, you will have that adhesive residue build up like nobody's business. And I mean nobody's business in a hurry. It drives me up the wall when it does that because it interferes with the quality of the cut after the fact. You know, you got to do the fancy copy paper cut, and it just hangs on there, and it makes it feel like your knife is stupendously dull. We tried doing that with denatured alcohol on the old Forbidden Moonshine, and it didn't work out so good. Like, it would clean almost all of it off, but it would take forever. Acetone, no. A couple seconds and you're done. It is fantastic. I recommend having some, and of course, You can clean just about everything out with acetone, all your grease, your grime, everything else, and then oil it after you put it back together, and you're good to go. Like, acetone is very handy. But, you know, I fed this thing a couple of pieces of cardboard. It was very slicey, and like other knives with a huge choil on them, I really had to use this choil to control the knife enough to keep it from basically cutting and pushing into the choil and stopping. That is the only thing that I really have to say about that, and it's not really the knife's fault. It is just endemic to large choils at the end of the blade like this. It's just, if you're doing a long cut, it'll work its way down here and fall into the choil and just stop. So that's something to be prepared for, just letting you know. Now, let's take a look at the end-all be-all of sharpness tests, the copy paper. So, we're still doing a good job cutting that. I didn't really put it through hell at work. You know, I was saving the beatdown for Cardboard Slayer because, you know, I like starting on the factory edge there. And I'm trying to remember, but I think the cardboard I fed it was pretty nasty, and I don't remember how many cuts it was because I was juggling that and my other knife that I'm going to do a video on tomorrow, so you guys have more you guys have more content coming. Words have been hard all day. I have tripped on my words so bad, and I don't want to start this video over, so you guys get the bonus of me flubbing something. But another video coming tomorrow, because you guys know I spoil you. We love it around here. But let's take a look at the edge on the sharpness tester. Because I think my first number was a 128 edge. Very, very fine apex. Let's see where we're at now. 233. So the edge definitely took a bit of a ding, and I may have just knocked a very, very fine part of the apex off. But that is still a very good working edge, and that is between utility razor and high-end cutlery. And that is on the sharper side of it. So, I mean, it's still got a really good edge. And I didn't really push it that hard, but again, that's kind of one of those things where out of the box you may have like a very, very fine apex and just a touch of burr that gets knocked off. So I can't really complain about that. You know, the real test for the edge retention is going to be Cardboard Slayer tomorrow night, and that is Friday, October 4th. God, words are hard. It's been a long day. But, you know, definitely looking forward to that, because again, if that RPM 9 is the Artisan AR RPM 9 just under a different name, which I was told it is in the comments of my last live stream, which may or may not be true. I don't know the veracity of that. It was mentioned that Artisan Cutlery is the OEM for Rosecraft. That means it's going to hold up for a good little while. That should be a good live stream. But you know, I like this thing a lot. And, of course, again, it is on Rosecraft's website. They have them in other colors. This is the mic. The Sully is blue with magenta accents, so I think you know what they're going for there, and I think they got black and red. You know, and this is the thing that we look for. This is the reason I started this channel entirely. All right, trying to find great stuff that's under $50, that's well in that budget range for guys like me that don't have... You know, I can't consider $100 a budget knife. A lot of guys can, but most of the guys that watch these videos cannot consider that a budget knife. You know, getting down below $50, and even more importantly, down below $35, that's where you and I start calling a knife a budget knife. You know, you can push that out a little bit further. You know, everyone's definition is a little bit murky, and it's different from user to user. Your mileage may vary. But this is the heart of the channel right here. You know, we have something fantastic here that costs $30. All right, I have got knives that cost $55, $60 that are very, very disappointing, especially stacked up against this thing. Like, I mean, good God, it's done so well. And, you know, for me, this is on the smaller side for a knife too, especially a smaller chunk of sharpened edge, and even that's not really that big of a problem. This thing really feels like it was designed for just straight up raw utility. Just raw utility, and it did that very, very well. You know, the only real flourishes of design are the color of the G10 and the anodized accents. You know, but everything else looks like it was just utility, utility, utility. And it does great for that. It is a great everyday carry working knife. I can't really find any fault with this thing at all. I expected no surprises. I got no surprises. It did great. You know, the only bummer is my keys also knocked some of the anodizing off of the thumb stud on this side right here. But we buy these knives to carry them. A $30 knife is never going to be a safe queen. It might have been one for me years and years ago when I was really, truly broke. But it still would have gotten carried and beat on really hard because I didn't have the money to buy something else. So, you know, it's it's fantastic. You know, Swags designed this. Swags did great here, and you know, I love finding stuff like this, especially from smaller companies. Like Rosecraft is fairly well known. They've gotten around a bit, but they're not, say, as big as Civivi or as big as you know, Kajerb or anybody like that. But they, you know, it's a smaller, not quite as well known company as the big guys, and they dropped a bomb here that is fantastic. You know, I am looking forward to trying out more Rosecraft stuff. I've still got the little Chonk, and I've still got the OG to check out. I am hoping both of those do as well as this did, because that would be fantastic. You know, the Castoria, that did great, but that thing is a very, very unique design that appeals to a certain person. This is a much more broad appeal. And yeah, so if you're interested in getting one of these, you shan't be disappointed. Unless we just have this thing fail miserably at Cardboard Slayer, but I absolutely do not expect that at this point. But yeah, I can't think of anything else to add without holding you guys hostage. So thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea how much a simple subscription can help. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We have got giveaways coming up. We have got our live streams. We have got videos coming out regularly. There's plenty of stuff for you here. Channel members, y'all got a giveaway coming up soon, too. If you're not a channel member and you want to win some pretty cool stuff, go ahead and join. But comments, I love some feedback. If you've got some Rosecraft stuff, let us know how you like it. I know one of y'all won one of these, and you should have it either today or tomorrow. So if you've got it, let us know. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.